Greetings, Peter Nelson here to share with you some of my favorites out of my sailing library. I just recently had my new crew ask me if she could borrow a couple of books from me recently, and so that got me thinking that maybe it'd be a good idea to pull some of the rags out of my library, see if I can share some of those with you. Unfortunately, I can't show you the two that I gave to her. She's still reading them. But the two that I gave to her, let me preface this by saying that she is an experienced sailor, raced at College of Charleston, races with me on the big boat. So I didn't just give her introductory books, but I did give her Gary Jobson, Championship Tactics. This is probably the best tactics book that I've found. Gary does an excellent job of distilling basic and advanced racing tactics in a conversation that anybody can understand, even me. And so, Championship Tactics by Gary Jobson, great book. I also gave her Phil Berman's Catamaran Racing from Start to Finish. Phil Berman is considered one of the godfathers to catamaran sailing. Has written a bunch of different books, all of them good. And so Catamaran Racing from Start to Finish is great. If you are a crew, then you're going to want Catamaran Crewing from Start to Finish. This is also an excellent book to get a crew up and going in a short beat. As a matter of fact, I should be giving her that, and I think I will give that to her when I see her next month. Those are the two books I gave her, but really I should have started this out with what I consider to be the Bible of catamaran racing. It's Welcome to A Fleet. This is a book written by Jack Salmons, probably back in the 1970s. It's a 2-volume set. I don't have a copy. They are out of print, so they're hard to get. You just have to look around for them. But if you can find them, get them. Whether you are brand new or you've been racing for a lot of years, these books are fantastic. They're just as applicable today as they were back when they were written in the 70s. The first book is on boat speed and how to rig the boat up. The second is on tactics, because the catamarans have different sailing tactics than dinghies, than monohulls. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. But Welcome to A Fleet, you have to have that in any good library. So those are the basic ones. Some of my other favorites I want to share with you. Probably Eric Twinoname, Sail, Race, and Win. Eric has a real good approach to kind of the mental game of racing boats. After you've figured out the physical parts of it, how to rig the boat and crew work and all that, sailboat racing becomes a mind game a lot of the time. And Eric can help you with the inner game of racing. Frank Berthwaite has high performance sailing. It's a very thick book. It's got really thin or really small print. It's a highly technical book. I had a hard time getting through this because it is so much information. But it's a great reference. I can go in there, and if I want to go back and get one more opinion about a rigging idea or something else, crew work idea, this book, Frank Berthwaite, is a great. It's going to be tough to read start to finish, in my opinion, but it's still a great book. Personally, one of my all-time favorite authors is Stuart Walker and Small Boat Racing Tactics. I picked this puppy up a long time ago in a bookshop in Boise, Idaho, and I thought I had died and gone to heaven. Stuart Walker, though, I need to warn you, is a hard read. You either like him or you don't. I love him. He tells these stories in a particular style that, yeah, it's a little hard to read. And I had to, when I first read this book, I had to read passages of it, sometimes 2 or 3 times. But once I got through his style of writing, I loved it. And he really gets into some really high level. He has sailed with and against the best. And so the Tactics of Small Boat Racing is a fantastic read if you like Stewart. You might want to borrow it from the library. Make sure that you like that style, that you can get through it. Give it patience. Read it over and over. Get through that style. You'll love it. If you do love them and you can't get enough of them like I could, then Advanced Racing Tactics. Sorry that the printing goes backwards in the camera, but Advanced Racing Tactics by none other than Stuart Walker is another great follow-up to the Tactics of Small Boat Racing. And if you can't get enough of the boy, then Positioning by Stuart Walker, The Logic of Sailboat Racing, is another great follow-on book to help you, depending on where you are in the race and where you are in the regatta and where you are on the course, helps you figure out where you should be going to take best advantage of it. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't include a Buddy Melges book. Buddy is a great dinghy sailor and big boat sailor. Doesn't have a lot of experience in catamaran racing, but the tactics a lot of times are really great. Sailing Smart by Buddy Melges. Winning Techniques, Tactics, and Strategies is again just another way to look at it. You'll find that most of these guys say the same thing in different ways, which is why they're at the top of their game. So coming at it from different angles can really help. If you made it this far in the video, then I'm going to give you a bonus. This is not a racing book, my last book. It is a cruising book. I went offshore for a couple of years and sailed the ocean, sailing the world. And Jimmy Cornell, World Cruising Routes. I would not go offshore without this book. Jimmy kept me out of a lot of really, really bad stuff because he talks about different world passages and when to make that passage and when not to make that passage. And man, I didn't make any passages when Jimmy said it was going to be bad, and he was right on. I avoided a lot of stuff out there. So World Cruising Routes by Jimmy Cornell is your bonus for this video. Have a great winter. Enjoy your reading, and we'll see you out there in the spring.